So in the last video, we improved the square function by adding in the ability to adjust the size of the square. The other thing that I actually like to do when I'm playing with shapes is to not only provide information about the size of the square, but even going ahead and putting information about where the square should go as part of the block, as part of the command. And so let me show you how to extend this even more when we do our make a block. So I'm going to do make a block. I'm going to say square, and I'm going to say size length. So just like we had before, right? But I'm not going to hit return yet. Now I want to do another thing. I want to actually provide the x and y coordinates of where the square is going to go. So I'm going to add additional text, and I'm going to say next I want to say what's the x coordinate, and let's call that x value. And then I'm going to add another label for the y coordinate and call that y value. And so see, what I've done is to create a combination of labels on my block and holes where data can go. Let me make that. And so now you see what it looks like here. It says define a square of size with an x value and a y value. And I mean, that's really sort of very similar to blocks we have, right, where we have text between input values. You know, when we have our go to x and y here in the video, we say go to x colon, and there was some number there, and y colon, and I've just sort of modeled that a little bit, not perfectly, but a little bit with this block. And so now if I want to create this square, if I want to do this square, probably what I want to do is the first thing I want to do is to pick the pen up and then go to that x and y location. And why did I pick the pen up? Well, I don't want to leave a trail as I go, so I'm going to pick the pen up. I'm going to go to some xy location. Again, remember that I can pull these pegs out. So I want the x value, and I'm going to pass it there, and the y value, and I'm going to pass it there, and then I'm going to put the pen back down again. And so just in case, since I don't know how the user is going to use it, I'm always going to pick the pen up. I'm going to jump to whatever location they just gave me, and then I'm going to put the pen back down again. And now I want to draw a square with that size, which is really this code again, but there's no reason for me to do that code again. I already have this function, so I'm going to push this a little bit to the extreme. I'm going to say, cool, now that you're where you need to be, make a square of that size, that length. That then says, pass this information down to this function and make the square. And so what I can do now, I'm going to actually get rid of the repetition because I don't think the repetition is quite the right idea here. I just want to say this. I want to make a square that begins with size 100 at 0, 0. And then as soon as I'm done with that, I want you to make a square of size 80 at 100, 100. And then I want you to make a square of size 60 at negative 100, negative 100. This is all arbitrary. I'm just making these up. But you can see how I could put multiple commands together, and now I get these three different squares, right? Here was my 100, 100, my 100 sized square in the middle. Here's my 80 sized square. And you can sort of begin to put these together. You could build some shapes by putting these blocks together into different orders, in different formats. You can repeat these squares in different sizes and come up with different types of patterns. And in the end, by using squares and circles and triangles and lines, we could put together some really fascinating pictures using the pen. And in fact, that's what you're going to do in your homework assignment for this final unit.